Hey there, welcome. In this explainer, we are going to break down exactly how to teach figurative language to your 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And we're going to do it in a way that's not just engaging, but really effective, getting them to truly craft with language.
So let's start with a question that I know a lot of us face in the classroom. How do we get our students to move past just, defining figurative language and actually start using it to make their writing shine? It's that jump from knowing to doing that's so crucial, right? That's the gap we're going to bridge today.
All right, so here's our plan. We're going to walk through this using a structure you'll definitely recognize, the good old gradual release model. We'll break down the standard, then hit the I do, we do, and you do phases, and wrap up with checking for understanding. Let's get to it.
Okay, first things first. Let's really get crystal clear on what this standard is asking our students to know and be able to do. We're going to break it down.
So, here's the standard itself. You can see it's all about using language to interpret meaning and craft engaging texts. But really, think of it like a two-way street. We need our students to both understand figurative language when they see it in a book and then turn around and use it to make their own writing pop.
And this breaks it down even further. It really splits the standard into 2 clear jobs for our students. First, they need to be language detectives, right? They have to find figurative language in texts and explain what it's doing. And second, they get to be language creators, using it themselves on purpose to hook their readers. Love that. All right, so let's get into our lesson. We're starting with part 1, the I do phase. This is where you, the teacher, take center stage with some really clear, direct instruction.
A great way to kick this whole thing off is with a really simple but super powerful hook. Just put a kind of boring sentence up on the board, something like, "The sun was shining," and then ask your class this one question. It just immediately pulls them into the process.
And this is where the magic happens. You're going to model for them how to transform that plain sentence into something way more vivid. So you take "the sun was shining" and you change it to say, "the sun smiled down on us." But here's the key. You explicitly name the device. You say, "See what I did there? That's called personification." It makes that connection between the concept and the action just crystal clear. This is probably the most important idea we have to get across. That difference between what's literal and what's figurative. Using an example they've all heard, like "I'm on top of the world," is perfect. It helps them see, oh, okay, you're not actually standing on the globe. It's about a feeling. It just clicks for them. Okay, so we've done our part with the direct modeling. Now it's time to bring the students in for some collaborative work. Let's look at the we do phase. This is such a great activity for whole class practice. You just pick a simple fun topic, something everybody gets, like ice cream. And then, together as a class, you brainstorm one example for each type of figurative language. It's so low stakes, super supportive, and gets everyone's brains working. And here's a taste of what your class might come up with. Just look at these. The ice cream melted like a snowman on a sunny day. It begged me to take one more bite. I mean, come on, this is exactly what you're hoping for. You can just feel the creativity buzzing. All right, we've done the I do, we've done the we do. You know what's next. It's time to let them fly a little bit on their own. Let's talk about the you do phase, or independent practice. So when you send them off with a partner, your instructions need to be super clear. Something just like this. Okay, you and your partner are going to pick a topic, write one original sentence for each of the 4 types, and write each sentence on a different sticky note. See how clear that is? It just sets them up for success from the get-go. And while they're working, you'll have this ready to go, just a big piece of chart paper split into 4 squares. As partners finish writing on their sticky notes, they can come on up and stick them in the right box. It's awesome because it's visual, it's active, and everyone gets to see each other's great ideas. Now, we all know every classroom has a mix of learners, so here are a couple of great ideas for differentiation. For some kids, you could have them do a figurative language scavenger hunt in a book they know well. And for others who are ready for a little more, having them illustrate one of the examples is a fantastic way to show they really get the meaning. Okay, so once they've got the hang of writing single sentences, here's how you can push them a little further. Challenge them to pick their favorite sentence and expand it into a short paragraph. This really gets them thinking about how these tools don't just exist in isolation, but work together to paint a bigger picture. All right, we're at the final, and you could argue the most important part of the whole lesson. We've taught it, we've practiced it, but how do we know if they really got it? Let's talk about how to check for understanding and assess for mastery. So as you're walking around the room listening in on those partner conversations, these are the things you're listening for. Can they actually identify the different types? Can they explain what an example really means? Can they talk about the effect on the reader, like, oh, that makes it sound spooky? And of course, can they create their own? When you hear those things, you know they're on the right track.
And here is a brilliant, super quick way to get a read on every single student before they walk out the door. An exit ticket. Just have them jot down their favorite sentence from the day, label the type, and explain its effect. In like 2 minutes, you get a perfect snapshot of who's got it and who might need a little check-in tomorrow.
When it comes down to it, this whole thing isn't just about memorizing definitions, is it? It's about empowering our students. It's about giving them new tools, a whole new palette, so they can paint with their words. So the question I'll leave you with is, how are you going to help your students become word artists?